rolling.
All right, and it's Hugh Laird, right?
Yep.
All right. Are we ready? You know. Welcome to the Immersive Lens, the podcast exploring the technologies reshaping how we live, work, and learn.
From AI and virtual reality to creative media and design, we're diving into the tools and ideas shaping our connected world.
My name is Paul Engin. Join us as we uncover the people and ideas driving the next wave of interactive experiences.
And I'm Dave Ghidiu, and this is the Immersive Lens.
Hey Dave, I think we should address the elephant in the room. What do you think?
Yeah, what's going on? Something's different.
I don't know what it is. Today we have a special guest. We're going to be talking about cameras. And so our guest is Jeff Kidd. He's our first guest of the show. Welcome, Jeff.
Happy to be here.
He's usually in the control room. You've seen him in other episodes if you've been watching on the different platforms. And we have a new engineer today, Hugh Laird. Thank you very much, Hugh, for stepping in to that role today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Hugh.
Jeff, welcome to the podcast.
This side of the podcast.
This
Yes.
side of the podcast.
It's weird to be on that side, to see the cameras, and it's an unusual feeling, but I'm excited.
Just for our listeners, not our viewers, how many devices and cameras do you see in the room right now?
We normally have one GoPro.
Yep.
And a little monitor for you guys. There's more than that today.
Yes.
We'll get into that later. You can kind of give us a breakdown of what we're doing here. Dave, anything interesting happening with you and hot takes today?
Yeah, and this is just a follow-up when we had talked about screen sizes and maybe how that modifies behavior. Mm-hmm. Carnegie Mellon just published a study, and it was about, believe it or not, malware. So the question is, do you think mobile phone users are more likely to contract malware or less likely than PC users?
What is malware? I guess
that would be like when you click on like a phishing link.
Oh, and then it does something to your computer or puts something on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay. So say that. What's the question again?
So do you think mobile phone users are more at risk or PC users, like desktop users?
What do you think?
PC.
I'm going to say PC as well.
Yeah, and it's not even close. It's 80%.
Wait, now when you say PC,
that's
is
desktop.
It Mac or is it Windows?
It's any desktop computer.
Any desktop?
Any desktop computer.
I didn't know if the operating system was
No.
How about Chromebook?
This is actually Chromebooks actually can't get malware. There's never been a piece of malware. It's a real nerdy thing. It has to deal with the way that the operating system it's immutable. Like you can't alter registry keys like you can on a PC or Mac.
Okay.
But anyway, this is fascinating because it's a behavioral issue. And they've done this study. It had like 5,000 links, and about 2.4% of them were malicious links. And they found that in the wild, so this is true data, actual data, mobile phone users hardly ever clicked on them, whereas computer users did. And then they did a lab study, and there was still a disparity. It was like 64% of mobile phone users avoided it, and 36% of desktop users. But the reason is because, at least this is the current thinking, because the mobile phone users are usually using phones in low attention contexts, like lying in bed, and so they're less focused on these situations, and they're just more inclined to avoid engaging in any risky behavior like clicking on links. So it's not necessarily that they're cybersecurity minded, it's that they're less attentive and less likely to like suss out, oh my gosh, is this a bad link or not? I'm just gonna ignore it.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? All right, so I'm getting an email and it's like, it says it's from HR.
Sure.
And it says, click and pick your holiday gift.
Yes.
So I haven't clicked on it yet. Do you know why?
Because
I'm worried. It's a phishing, and I don't know if it's true or not. And when I'm on my mobile phone, there's no hover state. So
that's part of it.
So I'm not going to do it.
And when you say hover state, like if you're on your PC or your Mac, you could put your cursor over and you could look at the link that it's going to send it you to. And it would be like badsite.com/phishing.
Right.
But this one but you can't tell on a mobile phone. So yeah, so the screen sizes do matter.
Okay.
You're right. All right. So you tell me something cool now.
So I don't know if you're aware, but Disney just recently, during the taping of this, which is the 16th of December, Disney just invested $1 billion into OpenAI.
1 bill.
Yeah. So they want to try to jump into like start getting involved in this rather than being reactive to it. And they feel like
To like AI doing
AI using their characters and whatnot. So I guess they're going to give a subset of their characters. I think it's the older characters. They're going to give some rights to, and I think they're going to monetize based on the use of the. I don't know all the nitty gritty of the details, but the flip side of this is, you know what they just did today?
sued Google.
Yeah.
And made Google take down all the Disney properties.
Yeah.
Right? So that's interesting. Do you have any intel? Is it going to be AI will be producing short films, like 60-second films with old Disney characters, or is it something more like Critters, like you were talking about before?
So I think it's just for general public playing, but I think what it is they're, we recently just got into a production with using AI, and I think they need to explore the technical aspects of how they could use AI.
Oh, what a clever way to do that.
Yeah, because they don't have the infrastructure to build out a LLM or a language.
Disney doesn't?
They don't have the servers, and I mean, they could pay for it and build one out, but I think there's, you're so far behind right now that you have to leverage the big boys.
That makes sense.
So I think that they're going to use it for two things: to see how it can be used, and then also to see how they could use it is my guess. But I'm not. This just happened, so
that's cool.
I'm not sure. How about you, Jeff? Do you have any?
Tell us something cool.
Anything that's happening? That's just, you know what happens at this
I
juncture.
have Merriam-Webster Dictionary's word of the year.
What's that? What's a dictionary?
Yeah, we were working. Slop.
Is it slop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my! I thought that was your word.
I didn't. Yeah, they stole it.
AI slop.
AI slop.
AI slop.
Oh wait, is it AI slop?
Not
or is it
specifically
just
AI slop, but just slop.
Yeah.
slop? Is there a definition?
Referring to low quality AI content.
Oh, so we're just calling it slop now.
AI, Merriam choosing slop, referring to a low quality AI content.
So it's specific to AI. Oh, look at that. So you don't have to say AI before slop.
Yeah,
now.
I'm just going to say slop. People will know what we're talking about. Now it's codified. So
Technically, this is what it says: digital content of low quality, often AI generated, flooding the internet.
Oh, okay. So it's digital.
And
Okay.
this is just like a PSA in case you didn't catch one of our earlier episodes, but there's been a study that shows if you pass off AI slop in the workplace, so, you punch something into AI and just hand it off, if you get busted, if people can tell, and it's much easier to tell now because of the M-dashes emoji and all sorts of other telltales, but you are looked upon, and the research backs this up, as less intelligent, less capable, and less trustworthy.
Yeah. Got to look over yourself.
So
right?
no slop.
No slop.
2026, avoid the slop.
So why don't we get going into our main topic of focus today, which is going to be cameras. And Jeff, I thought that maybe you could kick us off by, I want to talk a little bit about a history, but you're here. We can talk about how you set up this. What is this setup and why we did it?
Yeah. So typically when we've done the podcast so far, it's been a single GoPro sitting on the desk. And for those who don't know what a GoPro is, it's basically the most popular action camera, but you can use it in video production. People use it all the time in like reality TV and like vehicles and stuff like that. 'Cause it's so small, it can fit in small places, and you could get a lot of coverage. Like for example, in reality TV, you see it a lot when they're going to and from someplace. Sometimes you can actually see them in the vehicle. Like we actually did a shoot with them for an editing class, and I put 4 of them in the car. One on a wide shot, 2 shot of us, 1 for me, 1 for you, and 1 facing out. And we use that just because of the small space that we're in.
These are the cameras that I see skiers they're glued to their helmet, or motorcyclists. But also are there like selfie sticks, and you put the GoPro on it so you can see like yourself as you're like going down the mountain or whatever?
That's right, exactly. Okay. Helmet. We have all kinds of those mounts that students can use.
Tons of mounts.
Tons of mounts. Yeah, selfie sticks, clamps, all that good stuff. And that's what we used for the podcast. And the topic came up, not me as the guest, but a guest. How do we do that? Like, what are we going to do? And for Paul, it's very technical, but it records separate files. So once you get to a certain size, which we'll talk about size and storage and all that in a little bit, makes a new file. So it's a lot easier if we just have one, we hit record on the camera and it's just one long file. So to do that with 3 cameras, because typically when you have multiple people, you have a close-up for each person and a wide shot or a 2-shot or something like that. So the typical shot is actually that camera right there. It's you two. That's usually what it is.
Okay, so that's
you
just
two.
Paul and I.
It's just you, Dave and Paul.
Right there.
Okay.
Yep.
We're pointing at you.
We're pointing at that camera. Yep. And you have a guest, which in this case is me. I should have a camera, and that's my camera.
Oh, so there's a camera just on you.
So there's a camera right there
So
for me.
there's one camera for Paul and I, one camera that's just you.
Can you use that real quick and give me a video of this?
Yeah.
So go
A
ahead.
little bit behind the scenes, I guess. And then you have a wide shot that has all 3 of us. So if we really had enough space and more cameras, there would even be more cameras in here, but we don't have enough space for that. So in this case, we've got a couple of our Sony mirrorless cameras to get enough coverage.
Why does it matter if it's mirrorless? What does that even mean?
So mirrorless basically means there's no mirror inside it. So the previous standard for video, but more so photography, was the DSLR, which had a mirror in it. And if you really want to get technical, when you take the picture, the shutter opens and the mirror is kind of like flips in a way.
It opens up,
and there's now mirrorless is no mirror in it. It's basically like a computer now.
Well, so the mirror had nothing to do with development. It was just so you could see through the lens before you took the picture.
Exactly.
And instead of a viewfinder on like the cheesy
It's
little.
still technically a viewfinder. Okay. You want to go into that?
Yeah, we'll get into the history and we'll kind of talk about
and
that.
satiate my appetite about the mirrors.
Yeah.
So bring that up when we're there.
Yeah. So my history, my beginnings though, were my home movie camera that my dad got when I was a kid, and when I turned 9, it became me doing our home movies and not my father, because I picked it up. So that was my first ever camera ever.
You've been producing since 9?
Pretty much. I didn't know how to edit. There was no editing. It was just whatever.
So is this like, did it have a VCR tape? Did it have like a reel-to-reel?
It was a VHS tape.
Did it have like 2 different components? Like you had to carry the VCR kind of in your backpack?
No.
Okay. So you look like a news person from like the 90s with a big, huge camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I was in middle school, I was like, I think I want to learn how to do this. And my dad quietly did a backflip. He was so excited for me. I couldn't tell you the model number, but it was a Sony High 8 camera. I don't know if you ever heard of that, Paul.
Is that a smaller tape?
It's, yes, a much smaller tape, but it was digital technically. It was technically a digital camera because it had FireWire out. So you would record on your tape and then connect the camera to your computer, which was a G4 Mac.
Oh, the Mac G4.
Tower.
Yep.
Yeah, green. It was green. And my dad spent an insane amount of money on an additional 50 gigs of storage just for me to
50 gigs
put storage.
And what year was that?
Middle school. How old was I? Maybe 2000, maybe 98 or 99.
50 gigs back then must have been super expensive.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it was. And then when I got to here at FLCC, it was mini DV. So we had camcorders that had mini DV tapes, and it was the same process. Except we had decks here. So instead of connecting the camera to the computer, you took the tape out and then used the deck to communicate to the computer, and that you would capture your footage.
Wow. It seems so cumbersome by today's standards.
Oh, it's gotten better. It's gotten better.
The process of ingesting or capturing your footage was basically the majority of your project. Like if you count the whole production or editing process, at least half of it was just getting it into the computer.
Oh my gosh! And then and we can get into that in a minute. But since we're based out in Rochester, I thought that we could kind of talk about where it started. And for digital or for static cameras, it was film, and Kodak was obviously a big. So
for me, my first was VHS and the High 8. So if you want to talk about that's you guys.
Okay.
Because I don't have it. I did work with film a little bit when I worked at News 8, but I never edited it really.
So in my undergraduate, it was film, and we were shooting with obviously 35 millimeter still cameras, and we were shooting with 16 millimeter film cameras. So and
now, if I remember correctly, about film cameras, there was no audio.
Correct.
Right? So you had to shoot audio separate from your video, basically.
Oh my gosh!
And
what a nightmare!
And so most of the stuff I was filming at the time was animation. It was stop motion, and we can get into it in a minute. But the film is basically when we talk about there's 8 millimeter film, which was smaller,
like home movie. That was what was considered like
that's what most people had for consumers.
Yeah, there was that Steven Spielberg movie, Super 8.
Super 8.
Super 8,
Yeah.
yep.
So those were just basically when we're talking about these millimeters, it's just the film size itself. So
the width of the film itself. Right. Yeah.
So 8 millimeter was consumer, 16 millimeter was prosumer. I'll call it prosumer, and then 35 millimeter was obviously production.
That's what when I went to movies in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 35 millimeter, and then from there it evolved as far as film cameras, obviously, or static cameras. It started moving toward the digital cameras. For video, for motion cameras, it was starting to get into video, and so we started moving away from film into video. And the two dominant types when they first came out was Betamax and VHS.
Oh my gosh!
Do you remember?
I remember those wars.
Yeah, okay.
It was VHS for me.
It was
there was
okay.
no option.
The war had been won.
Yep, it was VHS. It was decided.
So for those who don't even know what it is, you remember what a video store is? And
Yeah, that's in the same part of my brain as phone books. So the video store is like you'd literally go in, and Blockbuster is the big example. Video King was one by me.
Yeah.
And you'd walk in, and you just get lucky maybe if they had the most recent movies, and you'd pay for it, and then you bring it back and pay because you didn't rewind it or because it was like many days late.
that has a lot of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
And it just feels like I remember like Thursday or Friday nights going with my mom, my
everyone
brother,
did that, right?
and it'd be like, cool, let's go get a movie. Or if you were with your friends, you'd be like, let's go get a movie at the video store. Let's see if such and such is in. And so I remember that being a big thing. Now everyone just takes it for granted because it's like,
oh my gosh,
dude, what do you want to watch? I don't know.
There's so many options now.
It was like you go in and be like, oh, I want to get the new Batman movie, in 1989, and it wasn't there, and you're like, okay, well, what's plan B? Oh no, what's plan C? Right. Because other people beat you there.
Right. Yeah. Or you would plan ahead, like it'd be an event, like it'd be like, guys, I just got the movie. Oh yeah. And then, yeah. So we went there. So Betamax, when it first started, people were buying Betamax recorders, Betamax players, and obviously same with VHS, right? Mm-hmm. And so there was an agreement made by Sony and VHS that said, why don't we target the pro market and you target the consumer market? So that's why what you saw is that at one point you had both of them, and depending on the store you were in, the player you had to, like, you were limited.
You know what the worst is? I have this memory of like getting the VHS and getting home and realizing it was beta and I couldn't play it. And I thought I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got the new Batman movie. I got home and it was beta. I was like, oh, what have I done?
Yes. So luckily that kind of worked itself out. So obviously,
well, did you guys see a difference? So if you had a beta, I heard, because when I did research, beta looked better, sounded better, but VHS was cheaper. Did you guys see a difference when you're watching this? Could you tell a difference between a beta
I
and
still
a beta?
can't.
I have no idea. I don't have.
So I don't remember. I didn't look that closely at the time, but obviously I think they evolved because I remember doing beta edits, and the beta cam decks were much higher quality once we started using those in production, not in like the consumer ones. To me, were pretty even. So VHS went out for consumers. And then from there, what we did is for the static cameras, we went from film and we started getting into digital cameras. So I think this is where Kodak drops the ball, right? Kodak. Yeah. And it's funny, they felt the quality, the just everything about the digital camera just didn't make sense. There was no competition for them, or they didn't feel it was at the time. And it was interesting because I was like, but in my head, I'm like, but this is going to get better. This is going to get smaller.
Is this maybe one of the first cases where, I mean, right now we can look and we talk about this about AI. Today's the worst it'll ever be.
Right.
But we didn't always know that about technology and computers.
Well, so I think that it falls back on I think Kodak and Xerox ran into the same thing. They dominated an industry, and they felt that there was no alternative. I mean,
It's the curse of knowledge.
yeah, it's like why, Xerox owned Xerox PARC in Palo Alto, which created most of the technology we have today, and they just let it go out. So it formed all of these other companies, and we can talk about that in another podcast. But all they thought about is we make copiers. And so why would these computer things, there's no need for it. We don't need fonts. Oh, well, Adobe started. We don't need computers to talk to each other. Oh, 3Com started. We don't need user interfaces. Oh, Apple and Microsoft took those and created UIs and mice.
How many times do they have to drop the ball before they're
because they're like, well, we have these copiers and we make billions from these copiers. What is all this other stuff?
I mean, you could make the argument, though, if you know your core competency, oftentimes companies collapse because they don't know their core competency and fall. I mean, ultimately that was their demise anyhow.
Right.
They just didn't have the vision. But I could see, like, if you're in film and you've been in the industry for 80 years and then you look at the first digital photo and you're like, that's 1% as good as anything that we can do on these exposures, not recognizing the downstream effects of that.
Right. And so I think that, it's one of those insights that I think you can think about, is that was a pivotal point for Kodak, that they should have really been doing that research and not just resting on their laurels and saying film is the best, nothing will replace it, right? So from film we went, or from that we went to digital, and obviously digital grew. And in the video world, the same thing happened, right? We started getting into from film to the VHS to beta, and then we started getting into digital as well. But then there's a bunch of things that were wrong with that, with all the different card configurations and formats. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what it came down to professionally. So, by that point, I'm at News 8.
Okay, what can you anchor us in a year or a decade?
Yeah. So I graduated, I got my bachelor's in 2007, and that fall, so I graduated over the summer, and then I started working at News 8 in September. So this is 2007. What really was the trip up, or the thing that really made it difficult to work digitally, was computing power. Having a computer that's powerful enough to do even just like basic stuff, because I work at News 8 in Rochester is the CBS affiliate. So it's the CBS station in Rochester. And we were shooting, I think we were the first station to shoot digitally. We had these Panasonic cameras that had P2 cards.
What's a P2 card?
It's a giant, basically PCI Express. It was the giant card slot that on the side of a computer or on a computer, huge. It could be for many, kind of like a USB
but it was big.
But it was large, and it's died. It died. But anyway, that was our digital card, and it was it's crazy to say, they gave us each 4 gig cards, 3 4 gig cards, and that held 16 minutes each.
Whoa.
So you went from beta, but not beta, I can't remember, it was quarter inch tape, which is a giant tape that could hold hours and hours and hours and hours, to I had a little more than 45 minutes basically a day.
Did that make you more circumspect with what you were filming?
Oh yeah, I had to be very, I know I have to. But I will say, a piece of technology that isn't used, it's still in some of the cameras, was pre-roll. So if I was shooting like basketball, let's say, like you would just if you're recording, you record and then you just get the whole game, and then you just have to find the scores or the baskets or whatever. Where if I had pre-roll, which means the camera's recording all the time, every whatever I said the interval to 5 seconds, 3 seconds, or whatever. So when a basket is made, I hit record, so it got 3 seconds back or 5 seconds back or whatever. So it was amazing to just like, I'm not filling up the card, all the time. I got this really cool thing. Basket, like I said, sports is a really good example of why.
Because otherwise you would miss it.
Otherwise, I'd run out.
I do like this idea of the technology kind of informing how you work, and then this pre-roll thing came out of the way, like probably the demand that people in your situation were like, well, I can't record the entire game.
Huge. If and the cards were, I looked it up at the time, $1,500.
Oh my god,
for one 4 gig card. and the chief photographer had an 8 gig, and we were like, whoever is drooling, we were like, oh my god.
Now we're talking terabytes. But
Oh gosh, yeah. But anyway, what was the trick at the time were computers. Really, it was we're talking standard definition, which is really technical, but old school analog video, standard definition, not widescreen, just standard def. Those computers were chugging.
Yeah, well, and
that footage.
It's also, we alluded to this before we started recording, but the whole process of shooting and then bringing it into a system to edit, a nonlinear editing system on a computer. Back in the day with the film, we were actually cutting and taping and respooling. And then we got into the VHS or the tape editing, and you'd have to do a master deck, and then you'd be recording to it, and then take it out, and then record to it, and we'd have all these decks, and it'd be all timed out by time code.
Oh my gosh.
And it would just like record to that one tape. But then when we started getting into the computers, then you had to take that content and somehow get it on the computer. And there was all these different configurations. It was very expensive.
Oh yeah, and it was these huge racks of converters, and oh man.
Yeah, so it was.
It's a miracle. It really was a miracle. If you I don't know how exactly the physical thing made it into the computer, but I'm glad it's there.
So Jeff, would you say that by today's standards, like knowing what you know about like your workflow today, have you just traded and swapped one problem for another? Like it's probably a lot quicker to transfer the data and everything, but like what problems have emerged that wouldn't have emerged back then? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it easier now, or is it hard? It's
harder in the sense that it's so easy that people are lazy. I would say people, users are lazy. And I'm not specifically talking about our students here at the college, but it's just, it's so easy to do now. Right. It's like, I lost my card or whatever. It's like, what would you put your footage on our server? Like, oh yeah. Like, okay, well, you still have all your footage then. You don't need the card anymore. It's like, here's the tape. I have the tape. Get it? It's the only copy of this tape we have.
Don't lose it.
Don't lose it.
But is there
don't
also,
drop it. Don't do anything to it.
So now that we don't have pre-roll, I mean, you might have like 10 cameras on a basketball game from different angles that are all running all the time. Well, so now you have.
See, now it's kind of like, do you want to? Because then maybe I'm getting if I want to shoot the whole thing, because maybe there's a player that didn't do anything, that didn't score a point, that maybe we want to get a shot of later for something that they did eventually. Because the pre-roll was great. I have exactly what I need. I didn't take up that much space, but that's all I have.
Yeah.
Now I can't play with anything else. I can't shoot anything else. I can't do anything. Does that make sense? I can't get extra footage of anything else. Just because I have no space.
Yep.
But to answer your question, it's so easy now that they're just so they're just like, oh well, it's only going to take me 2 seconds to upload the footage. I'll edit more later. I'll edit later. We used to when I was, I hate to be back in my day when I was a student here, we were editing into the night, like early morning, late hours, like, and you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it used to be a more thought out process.
That's what I'm getting at. Yes.
Because you really had to figure out, okay, now I gotta take this footage into this, and then I gotta process it, and then I gotta edit it. And it's really interesting, the whole dynamics of the way you had to think about shooting versus now. The digital cameras have gotten better. We've almost standardized it. Now we used to have all these different compact flash
for storage. Different
Sony,
storage types. Yep.
Different formats. So different devices had different formats, and now pretty much the standard is the SD card.
SD card, yeah.
And those have those are memory cards, and the memory cards now go from like 128 megabytes to like 5 terabytes. I mean, it's crazy how much storage is in these devices.
And that $1,500 4 gig P2 card, I can get
30 cents now.
I don't know if I could buy a 4 gig card like at Walmart or Best Buy. I don't even know if because that's so small.
And just put that in perspective. So, what's a movie? If I watch a movie on Netflix, is that 2 gigs? 20 gigs?
If it's okay, so like a 4K, like Ultra HD, like 4K, I would say that's probably 50 gigs.
Okay, but if I just have standard definition or like HD, like I don't have a 4K TV. Is that 10 gig?
Are we talking about you're streaming it, like you're watching it on Netflix?
I guess I'm just curious. I just need to know what 10 gigs gets me today.
Oh, of like storage, 10 gigs. I would say a couple of standard def movies.
Okay, so gig an hour, gig and a half
sure.
hour. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like DVD. I would say when I say standard, like a DVD, like DVD quality.
I do think that I think hard about technology in the history of it, and it seems to me that film has a durability that a lot of other technologies don't. And there's always been, I know even at RIT, I don't know if they still have like a film developing major, but for years and years, well past when you thought they would have gotten rid of it, they still had it. And I mean, we live by the George Eastman Museum, which certainly celebrates it. And Rochester is now home to, we have an IMAX movie, I think, over in Gates, or movie theater, but they are upgrading to get the 70 millimeter projection. We will be one of only 25 true IMAX theaters in the nation.
So, and again, 70 millimeters is just the size of the film again.
It's
so
like twice as big,
huge.
right?
Yeah. So I think they process it instead of vertically, horizontally.
Yeah, I've seen those spools.
Yeah.
Because they're so heavy.
Yeah.
It's timed to be done with when the new Christopher Nolan movie comes out, because he loves filming in film, first of all. And I saw Oppenheimer in film, and then the next day I saw it at a regular like 4K projection theater, and you could tell the difference. I couldn't, but people said they could.
I used to work for a production company, and the director of photography was a big film buff. So we shot all the animation in 35 millimeter film. And in contrast, when I was at MTV, we were shooting with video directly to the computer. And to give you an idea of the difference in the production, we were doing weekly episodes of Celebrity Deathmatch at MTV, which is a stop motion animation.
I remember.
Yeah, you guys can go look it up if you don't know what it is. But we were able to shoot and edit almost instantly. They were able to preview their animations instantly, and it was all, in the timeline of the editor. Like, we had the storyboards in there, so they knew the duration. Everything was right there. In contrast, we had a different system. It was called a lunchbox that gave us a preview of the animation, and it was just a video low-res preview of the animation, and we shot with film, okay? Then our director and our director of photography had to go to New York City or Miami to process the film, to get it processed.
Like, had to get on a plane with suitcases full of
film, and then they would bring it back. And then you know what we did? We digitized it anyway, and we edited it on a computer. But that whole process, it was funny because they were saying the same thing. He was so adamant that the quality, and rightfully so at the time, the film was higher quality. But now, I think about, look at the video cameras are now on our phones. The cameras themselves are now on our phones, and the quality on those are 4K. And they're, Apple always touts on their commercials that you could shoot a full film using one of their devices, their Max cameras, right? So we're getting into this realm. To your point, it's so easy. You just pick up your phone and you can start shooting. And so we're seeing this evolution of, you can edit on your phone now.
Yeah.
You can, there's no ingestion. There's no it's just, you can process right away, and you can post and distribute right away. Whereas before you had an edit, like I'll call it a wall that you had to say, okay, someone has to look this over, someone has to approve it, and then it has to get pushed up to broadcast, or it has to get pushed to somewhere. Now anybody can just shoot, and that can get people in trouble too, right? They can shoot, edit, post, and it's all out there.
There's no one knows the checks and balances.
Yeah, I'm going through my camera roll right now. I have like 75,000 photos and videos. So my question to you guys, because you're the experts, how do people know what to get when they're getting either a phone or a camera or like a video camera or point and shoot?
I'll let you go, Jeff, and then I can...
I think what I always say is, well, what do you want to do with it? What's your goal? Like, what do you want to use this for? And how much do you want to spend? Usually what I say.
All right. So I imagine the needs. I mean, for me, because I teach online, I want a good camera for recording when I'm, in my studio, my basement, and doing instructional videos. But a lot of other people are like, well, I go on vacation, I want to take pictures and videos of nature. So if anyone has a question, they can just contact you, is what you're saying?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
The first thing I would say in that case, I say, well, what phone do you have? What's your phone?
Our phone's generally good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now? Yeah.
I think that to your point, understanding what you need. So, for instance, we're very fortunate that we have tons of camera types, right? And the school and Jeff is very understanding of like, we'll give a situation like a video project to a student, let's say, and in talking with the students, they give us feedback and we're like, oh, you know what? We can come up with a solution for that. So one of the things that came up was like, Paul, I wanted my video to be so much better, but I'm the only one, like I'm filming and I'm by myself. And so I had to keep the camera static. No one was around to help me like film. So then, in talking with Jeff came up with 2 solutions. Do you want to talk about those 2 solutions for? Yeah.
So basically, the specific project was they were riding a horse, right? And they wanted it to be followed. They wanted to be followed, and it's like, okay, well, do you have someone there that can move the camera? And they're like, well, no. And it's like, okay, so maybe what you could do is you shoot with a normal camera, like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You shoot it, you pass it, and then you turn the camera. You pan over to the other side, and then you ride past it again. So you edit it, right? That's one way to do it. Or because they have a lot of these gimbals, their gimbals is basically a motorized or a controlled device that can stabilize your camera or your lens, gimbal, right? And specifically, the one that we ended up buying was a DJI Osmo 3. And what it can do is if you select, on this little tiny screen that it gives you, you can tap on the subject.
So like the horse?
The horse, and hop on the horse, and it'll follow the horse.
Automatically?
Automatically.
Oh, my gosh.
So that it can track.
How much does that cost?
So
a couple $100?
Yeah.
Not much.
It was just a gimbal. And I was like, this is great. And then we got something where it's like, okay, but this is still requiring a DSLR or mirrorless camera that we would then put on it. Can we get something smaller?
That's the Osmo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't remember I remember now. We did do 2 things. The Osmo was the one that's basically like one person show. The other one, you could put a camera on it and it has a sensor on there. So you get a higher quality image, third party camera, and you can connect. It'll talk to the camera and communicate with the camera, and it'll follow you that way.
And this with that it pivots too, or tilts.
Yeah.
So, up and down.
Yeah, so I can go. I was able to like go up and down. And it was like,
oh my gosh.
So the advancements are so great.
And drones. Like I've seen your drone work before too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot out there, but I think if you're interested in this stuff, you really need to evaluate what you're using it for. So in your case, for instance, if you were filming yourself, I would say the little
Osmo.
The Osmo would be perfect because it's a very small device. It's all self-contained. You click it, you can see a preview of it, and then you can move around, and it would record and edit you, and it would do what you'd want it to do. Now, if you're looking for something to shoot stills on and everything else, then you have to evaluate those factors as well.
Is there a course at this college where someone can go and learn all this stuff?
Yeah, there's multiple. So we have digital photography courses here.
Does that include video?
We have video production as well. So we have motion design. So there's lots of different courses you can take if you're looking at a specific interest. You could definitely go to www.flcc.edu and obviously look up the courses. So that's all the time we have today. Jeff, I want to thank you for being our guest. You're our very first guest here.
Yeah.
So this is going to set up for future guests as well. And I'm Paul Engin.
I'm Dave Ghidiu. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And let's be careful out there, folks.
And share it with a friend or a colleague. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and thanks for looking through the Immersive Lens with us.
This episode was engineered by Hugh Laird.
Recorded at Finger Lakes Community College Podcast Studios, located in beautiful Canandaigua, New York, in the heart of the Finger Lakes region. Offering more than 55 degrees, certificates, micro-credentials, and workforce training programs.
Thank you to Public Relations and Communications Marketing and the FLX AI Hub.
Eager to delve into passion? Discover exciting immersive opportunities at www.flcc.edu.
As part of our mission at FLCC, we are committed to making education accessible, innovative, and aligned with the needs of both students and employers.
The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official position of Finger Lakes Community College.
Music by Den from Pixabay.
This is the Immersive Lens. You know, you didn't make a bust about the elephant in the room. You should have been like, "What? Thanks a lot, Paul."
No, I'll do it right now. Just back it up. Just put this put this bit in there. Is it because I'm wearing a gray? Is it because I'm wearing a gray?
That's right.
I'm an elephant. There, put that in.
There we go. All right.